All right, good morning again. So now we're on our second subject for the day, and this is on the book Couldn't Just Happen. So, first, tell me why mountains are where they shouldn't be.
What do you mean?
So, talk about continental drift, suspect terrain.
Alright. So, in in the theory of continental drift, they say that um like the whole Earth was one continent before, but they split it in half in
Who
seven
split it in
pieces.
half?
But gradual
Mm-hmm.
gradual drift led them to like drift along.
Mm-hmm.
And so, after billions of years, they say, um, the the seven continents were born, but it wasn't always like that. The creator of the theory might the creator of the theory. I'm not gonna mention names because I don't know the names that much. The creator of the theory, um, when he first created it, it wasn't appreciated. It wasn't accepted in the science community, and therefore his idea was rejected. But they didn't really think much about it because it turns out in the near future, because that was in the 1900s, but it turns out in the near future, today, scientists wildly accept that now. Wildly accept that now. So so that means there were some bad scientists at that time that judged the idea, even though because they believed in their idea more, even though that could be right too, they didn't really consider it. but but he died.
Done?
So the mountains are where they shouldn't be because they say when the splits when the splits happened, the rocks changed, the rock formations that made mountains. Actually, there's a there was also a perfect mountain formed before that was amazing to a lot of scientists, but I forgot that perfect. It was like a perfect cone and stuff. Not like other mountains that, like, they're deformed and stuff. That mountain was like perfect, but they say an earthquake smashed it, ruined its perfect appearance. So bye bye perfect mountain.
All right. So
That was a volcano.
Okay. How do scientists use fossils to determine the age of the Earth? What are fossils? Fossils
I
are
know that, mommy.
remains of plants and animals.
So they use fossils for radiometric dating.
Radiometric dating.
Radiometric dating.
Okay, so talk to
Where
me
they
about
use-
radiometric dating.
In radiometric dating, they use the fossils to because there's different kinds of fossils. Like some fossils have particles that are like 19,000 years, that live for 19,000 years, and some fossils that live for a million years.
Like carbon 14, carbon
Yeah.
12. Can you talk to me about that?
Carbon 14 lives longer than carbon 12. Carbon 12 could become carbon 14.
No, it's the other way around. Carbon 14 turns into carbon 12.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You didn't hear anything about the carbon 12. We could edit that out.
Okay.
So carbon 14 could go through a gradual. They say it could go to a gradual change to become carbon 12.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't. But scientists don't really can't measure like when the carbon 14 is gonna go into carbon 12. That's why sometimes they think it's still carbon 14, but it may be already carbon 12. And carbon 12 is, and some like gas atoms and stuff. I don't really like particles and stuff go into parts of the fossils like date until millions of years.
Can you compare it to a large hotel in which there are 1,000 people?
So, but we can only measure like a large hotel with 1,000 people. Like for example, and we say that one person goes out every day, but we only watch them for 12 days. What if in some days like 10 people went out of the hotel and the and 10 children went back? We can't really know that because
So
we've been only examining for a while. There may be other changes that happen.
So can you tell me what's wrong with radiometric dating? Why is it not that great of a way to estimate the age of the Earth or of rocks?
Because we're not really sure about it all the time. It's always just we're not really sure about it all the time because like there's a lot of stuff that like confuses scientists. No, not confuses scientists, but like makes scientists wrong. Like the carbon 14 turns into carbon 12, just like that. And
But what if there was
we're not-
already carbon 12 there, right? They would never know. It's not always, they can't just always assume that it's always carbon 14 to start with, right? What if it was carbon 12 to start with?
Well, I guess we can't date the Earth by fossils.
Yeah, because since we don't know what was there originally, the dates may be far from correct, right? The dates we assign may be far from
But
correct.
they also could be estimates.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure at all.
Okay. So another question. Why do scientists need to be very or extremely careful about the experiments that they set up to gather evidence for or against a theory?
Because it like for or against a theory, they should be really careful because like every theory could like if they accept the theory it could like change the view of the world in a click. That could
Okay. Tell me about the ruling theory trap. The ruling theory trap.
So the ruling theory trap. But sometimes scientists hold to love their ideas too much that they think other ideas is not good because they take too much pride in their ideas. Like they think they're sure in their ideas, even though there's a lot of there could be a lot of proof that goes against it. They still take that idea. Those are examples of bad scientists.
Okay. Yeah, so they prefer one theory over another, right?
Yeah.
Even if there are already evidences against that theory, right?
They should
They're
they-
not being objective.
they're not playing fair.
Yeah. Okay. So, tell me about Stanler Miller's experiments. Stanler Miller was a college student
I know
in
that.
1953. Okay.
So Stanley Miller's 1950
1953, and he
So-
did an experiment in a glass tube.
Yeah. glass tube. Oh,
Yeah.
that was the
Test
one
tube.
with
Yeah, glass tubes.
I'm quite confused with the one with the, the maggots and that, because they were both college students. No, the one with maggots was a college student. He was already a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
He just wanted to test the idea that socks could turn into rats.
Oh, so this is not the one.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Mm-hmm. So what was Stanley Miller's experiment all about?
So he put electric waves into air
And gas and air into
and air into
a test tube.
a test tube, and it made a amoebophobia. No,
What was he trying to do?
he was trying to make life in a test tube.
He was trying to make life.
He
in a test
almost
tube.
did it, but he didn't almost did it. Not even close. He only made the amnesia.
Amino acid.
Amino acid. Amnesia, that's one.
So do you think it is possible to?
No, it isn't possible to
Why not?
get life in a test tube, because it would take like more than just amino acid to make
Uh-huh.
to make life in a test tube. Amino acids are like just building blocks
Mm-hmm.
to making a whole skyscraper.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, how do we know? This is the last question. How do we know that it couldn't just happen? Because people,
The theory of probability.
yes, people who still believe in the theory of evolution say that given time, anything can happen, and they are sure that the Earth just happened. But, yep, you said, what about the probability theory?
So
Why do you think it couldn't just happen?
The probability theory says that for everything to align into making life just out of nothing is like impossible, literally impossible.
Because
There's no percent chance, because every step that it makes to make a living cell takes an insane probability, like just to make a protein to go in the cell, that takes like for it to just happen takes like 128 zeros, 1 followed by 128 zeros. So it's practically impossible to just do one step, and then the second is like you have to do all of those steps by chance, like 4 steps or 4 steps by chance, and all of them have an insane probability that is like practically impossible. And you only have one chance to do that, and so it's practically impossible, and we only have one chance to do that, to create a living cell. So like all of those probabilities, they're like combined into one, and which is like impossible 5 times, 4 times. So I guess it just wasn't possible.
okay, so if that isn't possible, then what do you think really happened?
Other scientists say that there is a higher being that created all life from a test.
What do you think?
What?
What do you think?
Higher being?
Higher being? Who's the higher being?
God.
So you think it couldn't just happen, but God really created life on Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.